$500,000. Not from a windfall. Not from stock picking. Not from an inheritance. From 3 tickers, bought over and over for years without touching them. If you opened your brokerage app this morning and felt that familiar knot, tech is up again, your account isn't, and you're starting to wonder if you're doing this wrong, I want you to sit with that feeling for one more second. Because that feeling is exactly what convinces most people to blow up a portfolio that was actually working. This is not a hype video about getting rich from 3 ETFs. This is the math, the real math, behind how 3 unglamorous, boring, back-tested funds compound into $500,000. And by the end, you'll know exactly which 3, in what proportion, and why most people who own the right funds still end up with the wrong outcome. Here's the misconception. Most investors think a 3 ETF portfolio means pick 3 ETFs you like. It doesn't. It means picking 3 funds that each do a job the other 2 can't, and then leaving them alone long enough for compounding to actually work. Right now, a specific frustration is spreading through dividend investing communities, and I want to name it directly instead of dancing around it. SCHD has felt stuck. Over the past year, SCHD returned 20.44% compared to VOO's 13.74 Portfolios Lab. So, stuck isn't quite the right word for 2026 specifically. But zoom out, and the frustration makes more sense. Over the past 10 years, SCHD has underperformed VOO with an annualized return of 12.8% versus VOO's 15.37%. Portfolios Lab, against the NASDAQ, the gap is worse. SCHD's 10-year annualized return sits at 12.66% compared to QQQ's 20.27%. If you've been holding SCHD alone while your neighbor's NASDAQ account tripled, that gap is real, and I'm not going to pretend it isn't. But here's what just switch to growth crowd doesn't tell you. During the 2022 rate hike cycle, QQQ fell about 33% peak to trough, and in the 2000 to 2002 dot-com bust, the NASDAQ 100 dropped over 80% and took more than 15 years to recover. That's not a hypothetical. That's a decade and a half where an all-growth investor watched their portfolio go nowhere. The problem was never SCHD is bad. The problem is using one fund to do 3 jobs, growth, income, and stability, that it was never designed to do alone. So let's open this up and look at what actually makes a 3 ETF portfolio compound into 6 figures. Not theory, mechanism. Fund 1. This is your growth engine, and it's deceptively simple. 500 of the largest U.S. companies, market cap weighted, expense ratio of essentially nothing. VOO's expense ratio is 0.03%, compared to SCHD's 0.06%. Both are cheap, but the difference matters over 30 years of compounding on a large balance. VOO's job is to capture the market's broad, unglamorous, long-run upward drift. It's not flashy. It's the base of the pyramid. Fund 2. This is your acceleration layer. Over the past 10 years, QQQ turned $10,000 into roughly $59,028 versus $39,718 for VOO, a gap of about $19,400. That gap is why people add QQQ at all. But here's the mechanism most creators skip. That outperformance coincided with a specific regime: near zero interest rates, valuation expansion, and extreme mega-cap earnings concentration. In other words, QQQ's edge isn't magic. It's concentration risk that happened to pay off. That's exactly why QQQ is a slice of this portfolio, not the whole thing. Its expense ratio at 0.20% is 7 times VOO's. On a $100,000 position, that's $200 a year versus $30. You pay for the acceleration. You just don't want to pay for it with your entire portfolio's stability. SCHD. And this is where I want to be the realistic consultant instead of the hype channel. SCHD tracks an index built around the quality and sustainability of dividends, Schwab. It screens for financial strength, not just high yield. Right now, SCHD's forward dividend yield sits at 2.98%, DGRIN, and its trailing 12-month yield is around 3.25%, InvestSNPs. So if you're seeing numbers anywhere between roughly 2.9% and 3.3%, depending on the source and the exact day, that's not an error. That's just how trailing versus forward yield calculations differ. I'd rather give you that range, honestly, than round it to a cleaner sounding number that doesn't hold up under a calculator. What SCHD actually contributes isn't spectacular price appreciation, it's cash flow that doesn't care what the Nasdaq did this week, plus a dividend that's grown consistently. SCHD's 5-year dividend growth rate has averaged roughly 8.7% per year, InvestSNPs, which means the income stream itself is compounding, separate from price. Now here's the mechanism that ties all three together, and it's the part nobody shows you: correlation. SCHD and VOO have a correlation of just 0.24, Portfolios Lab, meaning they frequently move independently of each other. SCHD and QQQ correlate at only 0.06, essentially no consistent relationship at all. When you blend a low-yield growth fund, a high-volatility tech fund, and a low-correlation dividend fund, you're not just diversifying tickers, you're diversifying what makes the money move. That's the actual engine behind the $500,000. It's not that any one fund was a genius pick. It's that when tech stumbles, the dividend sleeve is often doing something different. A blended QQQM, VOO, and SCHD portfolio has captured about 107% of the S&P 500's gains while capturing only 99% of its losses, Portfolios Lab. That's the entire thesis of this video in one statistic. You get more of the upside and less of the downside than the index alone. That asymmetry, compounded for 2 or 3 decades, is what turns a modest monthly contribution into $500,000. So what do you actually do with this? First, stop treating this as a pick a winner decision. The SCHD versus VOO versus QQQ debate that's dominating comment sections right now is the wrong debate. The question was never which fund wins. It's what allocation makes the whole portfolio behave the way you need it to at your stage of life. If you're in your 30s or 40s with 20 plus years to go, a reasonable starting split looks something like 50% VOO, 30% QQ, 20% SCHD, heavier on growth because you have time to ride out a QQQ-style drawdown. If you're within a decade of retirement, that ratio should flip toward SCHD, closer to 50% SCH, 35% 15% QQQ, because you need the cash flow stability more than you need acceleration. There is no universal answer. There is only the answer that matches your time horizon. Second, resist the urge to realize the loss on SCHD chasing last year's tech return. Selling a quality dividend growth fund after a stretch of underperformance, right when growth has been hot, is a version of buying high and selling low with extra steps. If you want more growth exposure, add to VOO or QQQ with new contributions. Don't torch a position that's still doing exactly what it was built to do. Third, automate it. The real driver of that $500,000 isn't fund selection, it's the boring part. Contributing on a schedule, reinvesting every dividend, and not checking the balance every time tech has a good week. SCHD alone has grown its dividend for 14 consecutive years, InvestSNPs. That kind of consistency only pays off for people who are still holding the position a decade later. Here's the mindset shift I want you to leave with. You don't need to find the one fund that wins. You need 3 funds that do different jobs in a ratio that matches your actual timeline, held long enough for the math to work in your favor. That's the entire strategy behind the $500,000 headline. Not a secret ticker, not a lucky year, just structure and patience compounding quietly while everyone else is chasing last quarter's winner. If you're serious about building real, generational wealth instead of chasing this month's hottest ETF, Subscribe, because next week I'm breaking down exactly how to rebalance a 3 ETF portfolio without triggering a tax bill that eats your gains. That's the video the get-rich-quick channels will never make. See you there.